Hello and welcome back to Spekd. Today I'm going to be turning this junk into something special. Some free Games Workshop models, but even they can't tell the difference. I'll use this junk and some seed pods. First thing I'll be doing is taking the paper clips and cutting them in half. Roughly in half, either way. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to be using these as a stand for our seed pods, and they're the London plant tree seed pods. But there are plenty out there that have little tendrils coming off of them, and they look like brains once all the kind of seeds have departed. Once you have your paper clip ready, just bend the end, give it like a little hook, and that's something simply for the hot glue to stick to, and that's all. I find that bending the stem of the paper clip to about 25 degrees is good, and if you think 90 degrees, half that and half it again, that's roughly about what I'm looking for. Doesn't have to be accurate. Fire up your hot glue gun. Forgot to mention this earlier, which is why it's taken a while. In the meantime, just bend a few more paper clips and we're good. Hot glue them to the base, and you don't have to be clean here. You can be as messy as you want. I mean, at the end of the day, that all adds detail, so that's kind of a sweet advantage. And you see, got them all together. Next up, we're going to prepare the pods, or the core of the pods. And we just want to get some PVA glue and just run it around the outside. Simple, you do this by hand and just work it in. Quick massage and it's done. Now, as you can see there, that thing looks like a brain, and that's what inspired me to pick these up when I was walking little one home. Also, the statement from Frost and Fist, they said that I could MacGyver pretty much anything. So I suppose this just kind of adds credence to that statement. Okay. When you're doing these, one thing to remember is not to let the stems, the tendrils that come off, and they are quite strong anyway, stick together. They're very fibrous, and in nature there are a lot of things that are very, very tough and resilient just due to adaptation. So this is fine. Hot glue on the top of the paper clips, on the half tops there, and we just stick the head, or what I call it the head of the spore mine, onto that point, and then I just play around with the tendrils on the base and down the length of the paper clip, just to make it look dynamic and flowing, wherever you're comfortable. Some comes off the edge of the base, doesn't matter, we can use those bits later. But I find a little bit of hot glue worked well to keep it down, keep the tendrils stuck down, or you could use super glue. Whatever you want to use is no problem. Any excess glue would just be additional detail. Just have a look it over, should be fine. Now, if your models don't stand up, you can use a paper clip to just redistribute the center of gravity, and it should be fine. You can see how easy that is. And because they're very flexible, they'll adapt. Next is a painting stage. You can start from black base painting, it's up to you. But what I did is started from the darkest color of my High Fleet, which is my High Fleet Leviathan, with additional changes now thanks to the Psychic Awakening book, but let's not talk about that. Just cover the whole thing, get that colour through. Wait until they dry, and then you can dry brush the lighter colour that you want to go for next. I've gone for an extreme colour here, but it's part of the High Fleet Leviathan's colour base. And I just want to pick a zenith point, which is a highlight point with most light. And also areas where I want there to be power. So there's almost going to be 3 lighting sources on this. I should say 2. An internal light, maybe external light, and whatever light you want, but however far you want to take it is up to you. Keep the tendrils darker at the bottom, they look better, and you could even see there with that small bit of detail from the glue right across the top there, it looks alien. So we're already on for a win. Bring in some ceramite white, dry brush it once it's all dry, and they're really looking good. So next stage is something quite simple. I'm going to bring in the blue. I've gone for the Temple Guard blue, and this is where I see the spore pods getting ready to explode. This is the energy inside that it's containing. So it's a bit different when it comes to kind of highlighting these. So feel free to highlight it. There's no wrong or right way of doing it. This is just how I've done it. I've put the blue down the tendrils, and against the purple is a really high contrast. I'm not trying to blend them in. There's no need to. I want to see this on the table when I'm standing back. So there you go. I come back in with the white just to cut areas which are blocked out in the blue, just to make it have a little bit more contrasted in color wise, and then I spray it with hairspray just to seal it all. It's up to you whether you want to use hairspray or varnish, makes no difference, totally up to you. Now for base work. When it comes to the bases, yes, I normally go in for my seasonings, you know, like my mixed herbs, etc. But I'm just going to go straight here for tea bags. Just triangular tea bags are great for this. You just cut the top off, they remain as a container, and it just makes it so much more easier to pour. As you can see, whilst it's drying, I go for the Steel Legion drab there on the outside base. Well, whatever colour you colour the sides of your base is up to you. And then I'm bringing the final colour for my Tyranids for their eyes. So there's multiple eyes on those spore mines, and they're looking around for a target. There you go. Simple. Now, if you use the little indentations that's there naturally and paint those, it works out really well. So they're little cells, and it works really good. So next thing I want to do, just make a quick comparison to the previous one, is add on some grass. Another good tip is if you do have a large bottle of glue, just make sure you have like a little distributor, like a little nib, because then you could accurately put down where you want the glue. And this is like a 25mm base. I get my grass from Games Workshop. Could have used seasoning, but you know what? Use grass. I've had this for like 4 years, and that's as much as I've really used. You can see it is really full. The idea is with a combination of mixed herbs, it lasts forever. You'll see that in my previous videos anyway. I'm going for a little bit. I've got my spore mines eating up the ground and eating up content so they can explode on the enemy, and that's them with the other ones. Tell me what you think. So if you don't hear from me, Games Workshop has come to get me, because I've just saved you like 15 quid a box, and I've had fun showing you that. So that may be the last time I see you. So enjoy one of my other videos. This has been Spekd. PC out.